49% from the floor. Marymount gives up 55% field goal shooting for its opposition. Arkansas better at 45%. Mario Credit off the glass for the first points of the game. And here come the Lions. Fryer. A rebound to Credit, who has the first points and the first board. The Lions shoot about every 5 seconds. Bo Kemple being guarded there on the left side by Lee Mayberry. That's Jeff Fryer who saved it for 3. Fryer averages 10 3-point shots a game.
When I get a chance, I'm going to try to set the defense for you both ways.
There's Gathers, and they're going to count the hoop. Gathers leading the nation in scoring and rebounding, 33 points a game and 13.5 rebounds a game.
Arkansas generally plays a 1-1-3, Mick, and what I mean is they have the guy influencing out on the point, the next man is at the high post, and then they have the 3 men back, and they fall back into a 2-3 off of that. But I'm anxious to see whether they're even going to be able to get into that defense with Loyola's up-tempo game.
The Lions leading 2-0. Or check that at 2-2. Gathers in the lane. Here come the Razorbacks. Arkansas averaging 89 a game themselves. Nice feed inside. Credit has all 4 of the Arkansas points. Oh, Kemble. Kimball's a 37% from 3-point range.
I tell you to fasten your seatbelts.
You betcha. 6-5 Arkansas. Gathers the rebound. He goes to the offensive board, perhaps better than anybody in the country.
That's why he's leading the country in rebounding. When they get into a half-court offense, Loyola does, Mick, they are going to pound the ball inside to Gathers. And he is very big and strong in the upper body. And the one thing on rebounding, a lot of people will go up the first time, but he has that great quickness and that ability to go up the second and third time, and he has a nose for the basketball. Let's look and see. He has shot, if you can believe this, I want you to listen, 304 free throws coming into this game, but only a 57% free throw shooter.
And that translates, Jim, into 10 free throws a game.
He's shooting 61% from the floor and 57% from the free throw line.
We're tied at 6. Nice off-the-glass jumper for Lindsey Howell. He's Arkansas's leading scorer. Credit the rebound. We played 2 minutes. Hot day, a freshman. The Credit. That's Mayberry, another freshman for Arkansas. A very young team Nolan Richardson has put together. There's an errant pass and a turnover as Keith Wilson will control.
See, the one thing for Arkansas is you can't get caught up in the kind of game Loyola wants to play, and when you get that ball across the half court, you have to get into your half court offense and not play out of control.
Nice entry pass from Mayberry to Credit. Credit averaging just 11 points, has already scored 6 for Arkansas. So it'll be out of bounds to Arkansas. There's Paul Westhead in his 4th year, 79-41 at LMU. Lindsey Howell into the corner. Keith Wilson and Credit on the turnaround. Credit, who had scored only 70 points in his last 10 games, already has 8. And there's a nice steal by Day and a foul against Loyola Marymount, Tom Peabody.
Loyola plays a man-to-man full-court pressure for 40 minutes, and so does Arkansas. And Westhead says, see, what they want to do is force their offense with their defense, Mick. And if they don't get the steal, Westhead said, we're going to give you a shot that you can't turn down, and that's because they want the ball back.
Mayberry shooting and hitting, and Arkansas is off to a 14-6 lead.
There he is. That's his spot, the right side.
Was Fryer on the miss, and Peabody getting it inside to Gathers. Oh, you don't see him miss there too often. Lindsey Howell, an Arkansas rebound. Great entry to Credit. Nolan Richardson's team is out of the blocks quickly here in this game.
So you're going to get an incredible number of lay-ins against the full court pressure that Loyola uses. And watch now, they've got a 4-on-1 here. Fryer is the only player back. I'm sorry, Tom Peabody, the only player back there against that break. 4-on-1. You're going to see a lot of that. 2-on-1, 3-on-1, 4-on-1. But they'll give you that two-pointer to come back, because chances are they're going to get a three-pointer on you.
Credit has a 9-point first half. He's a 59% free thrower.
We might as well tell the viewers, Mick, how many three-point shots Loyola Marymount has shot. 754 three-point attempts.
Nolan Richardson says we don't take that many even in practice.
Oh, boy.
Steamer clears it off to the left side, and Fryer has yet to find his range. Kimball had it stripped away, but recovered there by Peabody. Peabody, a nice drive and a running one-hander off the iron. But the offensive rebound is put back up and in.
See, there's the full court pressure. There it is.
15-8, Arkansas by 7. Howell going to the inside, and a foul has been whistled against the Lions. 15:54 remaining in this fast-paced opening here. 15-8 Arkansas in the lead.
Lindsey Howell is coming off an awesome tournament in the Southwest Conference where he was the most valuable player. Has really been on a roll for them. And he's another guy, the same as Gathers, that can jump in a crowd and get that basketball, and a very fine free throw shooter at 78%.
This is Lindsey Howell, 3-2.
Howell is averaging 19.6 over his last 8 games. He's been on fire for Arkansas. Razorbacks leading 16-8. Here come the Lions. Gathers down the lane. Credit the rebound. The Lions stayed tough. Fryer still without a hoop. Now they're going to get him for going over the back.
Very good job by Mario Credit, boy. He had 3 shirts right around him from Loyola Marymount, and he just stuck with it and stuck with it a second and third time until he drew the foul. Watch him. He's got, look at, he's got 3 shirts surrounding him right down here. You'll see Gathers right there. You see Fryer right there.
Back live, and the Lions come away with the ball. Here's Jeff Fryer, stopping from 23 feet. Rebound comes down to Keith Wilson. And another foul is called. A backcourt violation here now. It's 15:26 to play in this first half.
When they get that basketball and come down, there's no such thing as even numbers or you've got them outnumbered. He was 1 against 3 that time. Jeff Fryer was. They've got the green light to shoot anytime. Westhead says when they pass the 10-second line, they are on their own and they've got the green light. They average 86 shots a game, more than 2 a minute.
Todd Day with his first points. It is a 10-point lead for Arkansas. Check that. 11-point lead.
So you never become complacent when you're playing LMU, because they are such an unbelievably great spurt team that no matter what your lead is, you've always got to be careful.
Arkansas playing a good defense, and Howell gets the steal, but then can't get it down court. Intending to hit Day. It'll be out of bounds for Loyola Marymount.
The interesting thing about the game, Mick, is the teams that like to press, like these 2 teams, sometimes don't like to be pressed, and that's what I'm anxious to see.
So we have a pause in the play with 14:59 remaining in the first half. It's Arkansas 19, Loyola Marymount 8. Mick Hubert along with Jim Gibbons back here in Indianapolis, where Arkansas leading 19-8. And Jim, we've talked about scoring, but what factor is defense in this game?
Well, everybody's talking about the offense. Both coaches told me yesterday that defensive transition is going to be one of the big keys. I'll get back into it. Let's go.
Fryer with the ball to the right side, and he's knocked away by Keith Wilson.
Arkansas is very good at converting on misses, and Loyola Marymount is very good at converting on makes, so something has got to give.
And you mean by that they like to take the ball right out of the net?
Exactly. They don't let you set up that pressure at all.
Gathers, nice running one-hander, but it's a little bit off the iron. Volleyball into the air for Mario Credit. Arkansas is really trying to get down quickly, and they've had 2 bad passes, but they're looking for that breakout.
At the press conference yesterday, somebody asked the LMU players, your defense isn't that good. He said, wait a minute now, we cause teams to turn the ball over 22, 24 times a game. We've got to be doing something right, and they get you caught up into that up-tempo game.
Marymount shooting 20% from the floor, and finally, Fryer has his first goal.
Boy, from the left side of the floor, and usually every position on the floor is numbered.
Rebound to Bo Kimball. Outlet to Terrell Lowry. Fryer on the pull-up.
That's his spot right there.
Lowry. Arkansas leading 19-11. Wilson in the middle of the break. Nice defensive play by Kimball. Last touch by Arkansas, so the Lions will get the ball.
See, in their fast break, LMU's, Mick, every position on the floor is numbered. Paul Westhead got this offense from Sonny Allen when he was coaching at Old Dominion and won the Division II championship. Every player goes to a designated spot on the floor, every possession.
Fryer. Peabody's back in the game now. Gathers trying to go up for it. Wilson comes away with it. He's the captain of the Razorbacks, Keith Wilson. Great pass. Day with a thread-the-needle pass to Lee Mayberry.
Boy, 2 of the great freshmen that they have. Both of them right there, freshmen. I did the Tulsa, Arkansas game a couple of weeks ago, and both of them were spectacular. Look at that. That is great court awareness. Nobody standing underneath. Got the ball right inside to Mayberry, where you won't find him very often, but he found the crease in the seam right there and got the nice pass.
So Mayberry has a 3-point play, and he scored 5 in the game. A 22-11 lead as the Hogs have doubled the score on the Lions.
It's interesting they didn't put the press on after the made free throw.
Gathers has now scored 5. 13:20 to play in this first half. It's Wilson. Credit on the baseline. And Mario Credit's off to a great start. He has scored 11 of the Hogs' 24.
Paul Westhead got a timeout in a hurry. Look at the official. He's talking to the officials.
And we'll be back with Arkansas leading by 11. Call 900-260-6301 or move back to the international distance of 21 feet. Call 900-260-6302, or if you'd like to see it, move back to the pro distance of 23 feet 4 inches. Call 900-260-6303 and you will be charged 60 cents per call.
Technical foul. Paul Westhead was really upset, and that's why he got the timeout. I think why he's upset, Mick, is that the Arkansas people are touching the basketball after it goes through, and it's stopping his players from getting that fast break going. The officials have given him the warning the next time it's an automatic technical if Arkansas were to do that. The shooting stats, Arkansas 10 of 14 at 71%, all high percentage shots, and Loyola 5 of 21 for only 24%.
Keith Wilson on the step in. Now the kick down to Credit. Howell the rebound. Howell is 6'4", but Jimmy's got a 38-inch vertical lead.
He's got that good quickness to the basketball.
Arkansas with a steal. The defense has been the story here for the Hogs. They're building a 27-13 lead. Credit in the lane. He's been awesome in the first half, and it's 29-13 Arkansas as Mario Credit has scored 13 for the Razorbacks. A 16-point lead for Arkansas. That's John Ferguson with the ball to Jeff Fryer. Low posting Gathers. Kimball off the iron, but Gathers another rebound. And watch Gathers work inside. Gathers does gather in everything. 29-15. Wilson. That's Day for 3. Stayed with it. Made a great feed to Wilson. Wilson. Ferguson. Oh, my. A running one-hander for Ferguson.
Well, he's a role player, and he isn't going to get into the offense very much.
Gathers over the back and around the ribs against Credit. That'll be the first foul on Hank Gathers.
See, the one thing that I've noticed at the other end, Nick, is that I think Gathers expects that a number of his shots are going to get blocked when he's getting those rebounds. Watch the bad position right now. Take a look. Watch the shot now. Can you believe it? Holy criminy, but it went in.
11:47 remaining in our first half here at Indianapolis. But the Arkansas Razorbacks jumping off to a quick lead. A 32-17 advantage now for Arkansas over Loyola Marymount. Credit has a 15-point first half.
For Arkansas, number 25.
Here comes the big O.
Oliver Miller, 6'9", 260, and he lost 20 pounds.
Now, there is a young man with a great future in front of him and a great shot blocker. I'll be anxious to see how he and Gathers do inside. They're leaning on each other already. His arm span makes him about 6'11" or 7 feet. Unbelievably long arms. They list him at 6'9".
Terry Mister will play it in. Good bounce pass on the entry to Gathers. And Gathers with 9. The Lions' most explosive goal of the game. 33-19. Arkansas no problem with the LMU press. And Mayberry off the iron. Rebound to Per Steamer out of Sweden. Played on the Swedish national team for 2 years. This is Terry Mister. Steamer Gathers knocked away. Arkansas's defense has been good. Down to Day. Todd Day has scored 5. Arkansas leading 35-19 and building on the lead as another hoop. Arlen Bowers gets it off the steal. It's an 18-point lead for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Gathers fouled as he crossed through the lane there. Paul Westhead trying to get some fresh troops in. But Jeff Fryer comes back, as does the big guy, John Ferguson.
One of the things, Mick, I thought it was going to wind up being a chess game. And my point being, whichever team can take away the other's strength for the longest period of time. Watch him. Watch Gathers. Watch him make the break to the basket. See, perfect. They took their eyes off of him. Instead of standing still, he went right to the basket.
Oh, a great feed from Steamer to Kimball. Kimball has scored 5.
See, right now, I think Loyola Marymount has got Arkansas playing its game. Loyola's not hitting from the outside. If they ever light up from three-point range, they are going to be tough. But Arkansas isn't getting into any half-court offense.
And with 10.5 minutes remaining in the first half, Jim, Arkansas is on their way to a 75-point first half. Of course, Paul Westhead says we're the highest scoring team in the country, and our opponents are the second highest.
Yeah. I think we're in the, are we in the 1-and-1?
That would be the 7th foul against Loyola Marymount.
They were almost going to take it out, which would have been a correctable error, but they're shooting in the 1-and-1.
Peabody is back, number 11, and Terry Mister goes off. Ferguson will also go out.
See, the Arkansas bench is deeper than the Loyola Marymount bench. And Larry Marks, who was a big 6'7", 235-pound sophomore, was a starter for Arkansas, and Todd Day came off of the bench. They've lost him, but still their bench is a little deeper than Marymount.
Mayberry with 6. He averages 12.5. Southwest Conference Newcomer of the Year out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's 38-21, Arkansas by 17 as we approach the midway mark of the first half. That's Fryer on the turnaround jump. Fryer is at 1 shot. He averages 22 points a game. Mayberry to back to Day. Nice play by Kimball, and the Lions get a steal, and Kimball on the breakout. And a foul is going to go against Arlen Bauer.
Not a bad move, because he traded a basket, a foul for a basket, because that's only their 3rd. That'll be their 4th. Now watch the great hands. You play defense with your feet, you supplement it with the hand action. Watch the hands. That's beautiful from in from behind. Very good move on Bo Kimball's part. And I did think it was a very smart foul, because they didn't give him the basket. They're taking the ball out of bounds.
Peabody will play it in and gets it inside. Steamer, and it'll count. Per Steamer with his first points, and an Arkansas foul.
Very good move. Per just penetrated right inside. Watch him sneak right inside the defense, Right there, the body contact. He's going to force the contact and finish the shot. Look at that. He held long enough that he felt the contact from the Big O, and then after Miller fouled him, he got the ball up on the glass.
So Steamer's three-point play has cut the Razorback lead to 14, and we have got an offensive foul whistled against Keith Wilson as Per Steamer was in position defensively for the Lions.
Well, the one thing they told me about the young man was that he takes a lot of fouls, but that right there isn't a charging foul in my book, because that man was not straight ahead. He stuck his right leg in there and got the call in his favor.
I think Keith Wilson's agreeing with you. 38-24, Arkansas on the defense, but leading by 14. Peabody looking inside.
They're back in the zone defense. They were in the man-to-man for a while, but they're back in the zone.
That was deflected by Wilson. Never had a chance. Hawkins keeping it alive in the corner, but he needs some help. This is Arlen Bowers. Now Bowers loses the handle.
See, that's what they force you to do. They just want to keep that tempo in their favor. See, the one thing when Arkansas zones, people say, my gosh, this is such a great three-point shooting team, Loyola Marymount. But their wing players, Arkansas, do an incredible job of getting out on the wings to get the three-point shooters. See that? They really move quickly.
Kimball for three. Rebound comes down to the Big O. Oliver
They
Miller.
triple team the man with the ball. Now, obviously, they've got the advantage.
Wilson leaves it for Howell, and Lindsey Howell has scored 8, and Arkansas has the 16-point lead. Nice feed from Fryer to Gathers, and Gathers has 11.
Boy, you talk about a guy that runs the floor well.
Great hustle by Tom Peabody. They don't count as points, they count as floor burns.
You better be ready to play 40 minutes when you play against Loyola Marymount. Now, watch this in terms of sheer hustle. Sheer hustle. He almost was able to keep that ball in play, but that's how hard that young man plays.
Arkansas leading 40-26. That's Lindsey Howell from 17. Howell now heating up with 10. The average is 14.
He's their
Wilson,
leading scorer, leading rebounder. Now they've got the advantage.
Do a foul out front before Gathers got to the hoop. Here comes Mario Credit back.
Boy, I am just simply amazed at the way Gathers runs the floor, Mick. He has great floor speed. Now watch the young man, and watch that one-on-one move right there. That is a great move for a guy that's 6'7" and 210, and look at him. He is really fired up because they were really looking forward to this, and you could tell in the press conference yesterday he was anxious for this competition.
It was the second personal foul today on Oliver Miller. Rebound, Jeff Fryer. Tough shot. So Fryer, who's missed easy shots, knocks down a hard one. He scored 5. 42-28. Howell on the baseline. He's a junior college transfer from San Jacinto in Texas. Out of bounds to the Lions.
The one thing that the Loyola Marymount has done is they have neutralized Arkansas's speed, because Arkansas is not pressing. In the game I had them with Tulsa, their press was positively awesome. They have such great quickness, but they're not going to go into that press because they're not going to give the advantage to Loyola Marymount if it doesn't work.
Gathers with a nice feed to Kimball. Gathers had a shot, but he gave it off to his buddy from Philadelphia, Bo Kimbo.
Well, look at this.
Nice defense there. As Loyola steals the ball with its defensive effort, and they'll be rewarded because of foul on Arkansas.
They just keep putting the pressure on you and putting the pressure on you. They are relentless. They don't back off for 1 second. And there's another mistake by Arkansas. Now they've got themselves right up on the line again. They are going to gamble on that press. I've watched films on them, Mick. They've got 2 and 3 people that will be guarding one man. You break that, obviously, you're going to wind up, as Paul Westhead said, getting a shot you can't pass up or a lay-in, but that's how they force teams to play at their pace, and that's how they get into their offense.
So Fryer, who has now scored 6, 13th on the all-time Loyola Marymount scoring list with 1,270 points. 44-32. Day, what a play to Mayberry. But a hustling Bo Kimple saved it. Saved the goal. Fourth-year head coach Nolan Richardson, as is his counterpart in his fourth year, Paul Westhead. 7:45 remaining in the first half. Wilson. We have a whistle and a foul has been called against Arkansas.
Pretty good boxing out, I'll tell you right there, by Jeff Fryer. He felt the contact, and he just moved right with the Arkansas man, and he's got himself a chance to go to the free throw line. And he's also been there and has shot 156 free throws. So Gathers has shot 304, and Jeff Fryer has shot 156. When you look at the stats, it is absolutely incredible. Fryer has shot 312 three-point attempts. Now, that's incredible until you watch their films or you watch them play, and then you can understand it.
So Fryer shooting one of the bonus. He is nearly automatic, an 83%er. Fryer averaging nearly 23 a game with a career high of 42 against DePaul. And he now has scored 9 points in this first half. The Lions are back with intent. Mayberry, the pull-up. Rebound Gathers. He's looking down the court. Day broke it up. It'll be out of bounds to Loyola Marymount.
Hey, the fact that Arkansas isn't able to press, and I said it before, it has really worked to Loyola's advantage. If they start hitting from outside, you watch.
That'll be Arkansas basketball. 7:24 remaining in this first half. Arkansas jumped to a quick lead, and they've led the entire way. And there's Kimple with the excuse me foul there.
Yeah, that is not a good foul right there, because all Bo had to do was just go right down the sidelines right there and just stay right with that man, and he could have angled him whatever direction he wanted to, but he just simply ran. Now watch, all he's got to do is run right along the sidelines with him, and he can trap him at any point he wants. But instead, he made the body contact, and you have to protect the man with the ball.
Terrell Lowry. Back out to Pear Steamer. Steamer now has scored 6. It's a 3. Marymount down by 7. And they're coming back.
You bet.
Arkansas had an 18-point lead, but LMU has cut it to 7. This is Terrell Lowry. He'll be fouled by Todd Day.
See, I don't care if you're an up-tempo basketball team, and Arkansas certainly is. They press full court for 40 minutes. They play up-tempo transition, but unless you're used to playing at the pace that this team plays at, you are at a disadvantage, and I don't care what anybody said. And right now, the game was at Arkansas's tempo for about the first 10 minutes. The last 5 or 6 or 7 minutes, it's been at Loyola's tempo.
Terrell Lowry, a high school all-stater from Oakland, California, making the first free throw. Arlen Bowers coming back, and Todd Day going out.
And the other thing, Mick, is this becomes a 40-minute basketball game, and if you're not used to this pace for 40 minutes, your shooting may be off the last 5 minutes or so. The legs may get a little heavy. A lot of things can happen to you after 35 minutes at a pace like this.
The Lions have outscored Arkansas 20-5 in the last few minutes. This is an LMU run here. Arkansas needing a hoop.
See, they're going to now. This is what I would do. I would burn a little time in that half-court offense and make them play a little more defense.
17 for Mario Credit. A 7-point lead for Arkansas at 46-39. Steamer. 3, but off the iron. The rebound, Lindsey Howell of Arkansas. Credit. And a whistle and a foul is going to go against Loyola Marymount.
Terrell Lowry. I did a Portland game earlier this year, and Terrell's brother Josh plays at Portland. He's going to be their point guard of the future, the young man is. Lowry has lots of raw talent. He's a fine outside shooter. He can play the point guard and also play the 2 guard. He just simply needs some time and experience. Paul just sat him down, gave him a pat on the back.
Lowry is out. Peabody is back. Credit, hitting 1 of 2, has scored 18. Arkansas leading 47-39. Gathers against the triple team. Good Arkansas defense. The Hawks steal the ball. Bowers works against Peabody. Oh, nice feed inside. Good defense there by the Lions. Credit looked like he was going to go to the goal.
The one thing that Gathers is going to have to realize, Nick, is that once that ball is pounded inside, he has to make his move and do something with it, because Arkansas is very good at surrounding you with 2 or 3 people, and they have extremely quick hands. He can, and he's going to get a strip from him every time if he doesn't pump it right back out or get that shot.
That's Bo Kimball.
Staying in that zone. Watch them spread on the wings.
Kimball from 25. Everywhere but in the cylinder. And Credit the rebound. Outlet to Bowers. Down to Mayberry. Great Arkansas break, but then Wilson was out of control. Lindsey Howell got hog-tied there.
He did. He was okay until the kick came. And that's when Larry Lembo decided that he was going to have to call it. They were both going after a loose ball, kind of, but then the action got a little heavier, and he had to call it. Take a look. I don't think there's anything right here. Nothing going on. Watch. Both going after the ball. I don't think there's now right there, because he knocked the player with the ball off kilter right there, and Peabody was about to travel with the ball, and it wouldn't have been his fault. He was forced to do it.
So Peabody missing. Kimball couldn't save it. It'll be out of bounds to Arkansas. The Razorbacks have won 7 straight and 10 of their last 11. Loyola Marymount has won 3 in a row and 6 of its last 7. They both won the championships of their conference tournaments. Wilson down to Lee Mayberry. Credit on the baseline. Credit with a 20-point first half.
Westhead is upset again. Westhead is upset again because the ball went all the way out of bounds, and he didn't think his people caused that ball to go out of bounds.
A little bit high, and Gathers couldn't gather it in. Arkansas gets the ball on the Lion turnover. Lindsey Howell feeding down low. Credit kicks it back. Howell steps in, and we've got a whistle. As Howell with the step-in move, and he got the foul called against John Ferguson.
A lot of times when Ferguson comes in, that allows Gathers to move out to the forward spot, and I think our viewers have seen enough of Hank already to know that he can play out on that court. He's got great movement. He can play one-on-one, and that's what I said in the stand-up. He can play facing the basket, he can post up inside, and he can run that floor in transition. Boy, look at every loose rebound. He is up there, and he grabs it. There's Fryer.
Fryer's not been on target with his three-point shots, and he's angry with himself. .426 remaining in our first half. Mick Hubert along with Jim Gibbons here in Indianapolis, where Arkansas leading Loyola Marymount 49-39. The Razorbacks had an 18-point lead, but moments ago the Lions closed within 5, and now the Razorbacks have it back to double digits at 10. And this is Bo Kimball. Kimball, an 8-point game.
See, the one other thing, Mick, that you and I talked about yesterday, a substitute coming in, Steamers coming back in, was that is how these teams will shoot in the Big Dome. Because every coach talked about it, the players talked about it, the background is different, the depth perception is different, and the experience of playing here is really unusual.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the NCAA. Any use of this program without written consent is prohibited. The announcers for this program have been approved and contracted by NCAA Productions. Arkansas will play it in. Lee Mayberry in the backcourt. That's Arlen Bowers. Rebound comes down to Tom Peabody. Here's Bowers back quickly for Arkansas.
He won't take that shot again, I'll guarantee you. That played right into Loyola Marymount's hands. See how they brought it out and set up the offense fine this time?
Credit backed in, but stayed with his miss. The offensive rebound, and Mario Credit has scored 22 points. 10-point lead for the Razorbacks, but right back in a hurry. Hank Gathers, he has 13. Mayberry in the lane, good penetration. Tip up by Wilson. Volleyball, Credit. Rebound comes down to Fryer. Here come the Lions back. Bo Kimball stopping from 23. It's a three for Bo Kimball. A 12-point first half, and the Lions cutting into the lead. They're down 5. Howell over Gathers. Credit tips it in. 24 for Mario Credit. Stolen by Wilson, the captain of the Hogs. Great lead for Mayberry, and a foul by Per Steamer. That's his second.
Loyola foul line number 4. His second foul.
Watch the steal. Very good rotation. He read it very well. Wilson is their best defensive player, probably one of the best defensive players in the Southwest Conference. Per Steamer wasn't about to let Mayberry have a lay-in. He was going to put him on that line and force him to make 2 from the free throw line.
3:03 remaining in our first half here at Indianapolis. But Arkansas is leading Loyola Marymount 53-46. Getting a good look at Lee Mayberry, Southwest Conference Defender of the Year for Arkansas, with 6 points in the first half.
The young man with an unbelievable assist-to-turnover ratio. It's almost 3-to-1. 122 assists and 46 turnovers, along with 46 steals.
The Lions have trailed by as many as 18 in this first half, and now they're back within 7. Bo Kimball's wide open, running for the ball, and he gets it to make that Terrell Lowry. Wilson got a hand on it, his second block. Wilson, great kick out for Lee Mayberry, who filled the right lane. Ran the break nicely, Jim.
Very well. Filled the lanes very well. Good defense on the perimeter right there when Lowry went to take the jumper.
That's Hank Gathers. There's another bad pass, and Bowers will break out and lay it in. So just as Paul West's team was closing the gap, Arkansas's defense has turned the tide.
They've done it with their defense. The last 2 possessions, Loyola Marymount hasn't gotten a shot at the basket. 2 turnovers, 2 change of possessions, and they converted on both of them.
An air ball by Kimball and a whistle. Foul is going to go against Per Steamer. That'll be his third. And even 2 minutes remaining in our first half. But coming in for Arkansas is Cannon Whitby. He's an excellent long-range shooter. Going out is Lee Mayberry. On the free shot line for Arkansas is Lindsey Howell, 6'4", 200-pound junior out of Dallas, Texas. Credit coming back. 24-point half for Credit. Oliver Miller taking a rest. Jim Howell has been angry since he wasn't named one of the top player in the Southwest Conference.
You bet he was. In the games I saw him, and the game that I did see him playing in this one, very well. He's their leading scorer and leading rebounder, and that's what incensed everybody. And then, of course, he was the most valuable player in the Southwest Conference tournament.
Arkansas by 13. Gathers with a miss. Kicked back out. Steamer saving it.
Give Gathers credit for it. He kept that ball alive.
Howell hustling on defense knocked it away, so the Lions will keep it.
You see Gathers last time. He couldn't get the 3rd attempt, but he had the presence of mind to swat the ball out there and get the offense going again.
1:40 remaining in the first half. 59-46 Arkansas.
Fryer has really been quiet the first 20 minutes. They've shut him down pretty well.
And a whistle and a foul is called down low against Arkansas. Paul Westhead, 50 years old, in his 4th year at Loyola Marymount. 79 and 61 overall. There's Tom Peabody coming back.
Well, I knew Paul when he was coaching at LaSalle. He was there for 9 years and did a terrific job. And then, of course, as everybody probably knows, went with the Los Angeles Lakers for 3 years and won an NBA championship in the process.
1980. Kimball is 13. When you watch Kimball, you watch how high his shots arc, and that's where he got his nickname, really, because his first name's Greg, but he's got that rainbow shot, and hence the nickname Bo Kimball.
He's their most gifted athlete. When he gets hot, that really is a plus for them.
Powell on the left side, and a whistle, a foul on the Lions.
And I thought a pretty good call. I thought a really good call because that man had left his feet. Lindsey Howell had. Now watch. Once that player leaves his feet, the offensive player has to be planted. He wasn't planted, number one. And number two, what he did was he simply moved in underneath him. And that's what caused the contact.
So back on the line is Lindsey Howell.
John O'Connell just didn't get himself situated soon enough and then moved when he went up to take the shot.
Howell has scored 15. The Arkansas contingent out of Fayetteville, they've been happy here. Their team has never trailed. A 13-point lead. Fryer, long jumper.
I mentioned he's been kind of quiet. That got him back on track.
Mayberry, he scored 10.
Look at Fryer all the way down in the right corner already. Boy, they run right to a spot.
Gathers from 14. Hank Gathers has scored 15 points in the game. 63-53 with 1 minute remaining in the half.
Boy, if Indiana's the hotbed of basketball, and the Hoosier fans, along with the others, must really be enjoying this 63-53.
These are time trials. Mayberry has got a dozen. It's a 12-point lead, by the way, for Arkansas. Paul Westhead says, we never take a bad shot. And he says, by contrast, we are always on the verge of failure.
Yeah. I'm telling you, you really have to play against a team like this to know what you're up against. And they aren't worried about what kinds of shots that they're going to give to the other team, Mick. They're only worried that you aren't going to hold the basketball on them, because that's the one thing that they don't want you to do. And that's why I thought maybe Arkansas, and maybe later in the second half, if they do get ahead, they'll start going into that half-court offense and burning some time.
Cannon Whitby with the ball. He'll shoot the jumper, and he knocks it in. Whitby.
Appropriate name for that young man, I'll tell you that. It is fitting because he's a very good standstill shooter.
It's a 15-point lead now, and Whitby's trying for 2 in a row. Gathers a rebound. There's Peabody. Fryer. Kimball. Whitby's made a presence since he came into the game. Gathers. Here's a last-second shot by Arlen Bowers. Hits the glass, but won't fall. And so we can finally catch our breath here at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis. A halftime score. The Arkansas Razorbacks 68, the Loyola Marymount Lions 53. And we'll be back after this message and a word from your local station. This is an NCAA Productions telecast. Got to love this. He had scored just 70 points in his last 7 games. Already has 24.
Oh, right off the out of bounds. That's a set play to start the second half, and that's a good way to start it.
17 for Gathers. 68-55. Mayberry. Wilson. A little bit too hard and too close to get it to credit.
The two officials didn't agree, and that's good officiating. Very good officiating. Which only means that the person that made the call underneath wasn't quite convinced. The official outside was absolutely positive of the call, and they changed it, and that's good officiating.
That's Lindsey Howell. 18 for Howell. 70-55. Fryer with a miss. And they're going to get Fryer for trying to rebound his miss.
Well,
That's his second foul.
Now remember what we said earlier, that it's a 40-minute game, and at this pace, I'm just curious to watch and see how Arkansas responds the last 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes in terms of shooting and pressure.
Todd Day with the miss. Lindsey Howell the board. Howell has 20. 15-point lead for the Razorbacks. Check that 17-point lead. Another Arkansas takeaway. To Credit on the jam. Mario Credit with 26.
Boy, Credit Wilson with that.
There's Gathers. 19 for Hank Gathers. 74-57. The Lions average 112 a game. They give up 107. Day with a running one-hander. And the rebound to Jeff Fryer. Knocked away by Wilson. It'll be out of bounds to Loyola Marymount.
See, Peabody isn't going to do much scoring. He's a role player who does all the little things. He's very good on defense, a very good passer. He's just going to set up the right people, just like he did right there.
Air Steamer on the miss. The rebound, Lindsey Howell. That's Mayberry. Keith Wilson's baseline jumper. Keith Wilson has 6.
That's the team leader, Mick. He is the glue to that basketball team, and that's what Nolan told me twice when we've talked, that guy is what makes us go. But see, they're getting it from Howell, and they're getting it from Credit, so they've got good balance.
Temple missing. Fryer rebounding. Rebound comes down to Arkansas. Boy, this guy here is just an incredible hustler. Tom Peabody.
Nice hustle, Tom.
He has got
right down in front of us.
And you know, Jim, he's got an awful lot of pressure on him as the point guard because he's playing in place of the injured Enoch Simmons.
You bet. And they lost a very, very fine basketball player. I watched a couple of films. That young was averaging 19 points a game and 6 to 8 assists a game, and he's out, which has really hurt this club. And I'm glad you brought that up because we mentioned Marks being gone for Arkansas.
There's the rebound for Peabody. Gathers.
Look at that.
A man mountain going through. Get out of the way. Gathers has 21.
Foul on Fryer. Almost had position, but didn't quite get away from it. Paul Westhead thought he may have had position, but he didn't, and a good call. Watch this. See the great movement? That's what I was saying, how he can run the floor and how he can come out and face the basket and play one-on-one. Watch him go right here between the two defensive people. That's great body control. Nice replay.
Mario Credit with the hoop at the other end for Arkansas. Credit with 28. It's a 19-point lead for the Razorbacks. 78-59. Not any longer. A 3 for Fryer. He has scored 15.
I'll tell you one thing. There isn't a player on that team that's going to stop shooting no matter how many they miss.
Howell with a good step in. Lindsey Howell. Howell with 22. 80-62 Arkansas. Bo Kimball. That's Keith Wilson. A good play defensively there by Kimball to break it up. Here comes Terrell Lowry. Turnover on the Lions.
Boy, you won't see it happen very often. A 3-on-1. Look at Paul Westhead up there clapping, encouraging those people.
The new record as he surpassed a great one at Arkansas. 93 steals for Keith Wilson. That puts him over the record of Alvin Robertson.
Well, that's why I told you, the top defensive player in the Southwest Conference. He had 122 assists coming into this game, which is the 4th highest in the school's history. So when you're doing the assists and you're doing the steals and you're giving them the kind of leadership that he gives and playing defensively the way he is, that's a complete basketball player.
80-64. Arkansas with the ball, leading by 16.
Hit the top, hit the 45-second clock.
You know, Jim, every coach talks about getting off to a quick start in the first few minutes of the second half. Well, they're running it.
Absolutely. The first 5 minutes of the game and the first 5 minutes of the second half. That's it. You hear coaches say it, and people just shake their head and say, oh, boy, here we go again. but there was a number of coaches in the press conferences yesterday that said that very thing. That's what the people from McNeese said. We've got to play well the first 5 minutes of the game against a team like Illinois.
Howell had the pass deflected there by Lowry. The Lions then return the favor. 16 minutes remaining in the second half. Arkansas will run its offense, leading by 16. Day inside Credit. Foul is going to go against the Loyola Marymount.
Yep. Number 20, I think
Terrell Lowry.
Terrell Lowry, right. He had Wilson, and he tried to just try to body him right out of there because Wilson had pretty good. Watch Wilson now, because he's got the position inside, and you'll see Lowry just try to push him right out of there, and that's exactly what he did. Good position by Wilson, but Lowry just didn't get into his body soon enough.
And that's Lowry's 4th foul. He's going to take a rest as Terry Mister comes back for Paul Westhead's team. Keith Wilson will inbound for Arkansas. Rebound to Fryer. Looking out, here's Peabody. Fryer. That's got to be a charge.
You bet, you bet. I thought that's what you were going to say, and I was hoping that's what you were going to say, because Fryer just simply played out of control. Nothing good's going to happen when you leave your feet unless you're going to shoot it, and he wasn't going to shoot it. Day moved in, saw him coming. Perfect defensive position.
And that's the 4th foul on Jeff Fryer.
Yeah.
With a long way to go, 15-31, and Fryer is going out.
He is, and that's not going to help them at all. I did happen to watch one of the DePaul tapes when he had 42 points and hit about 9 or 10 three-pointers and was spectacular.
80-64, Arkansas with the ball and the lead. Hank gathers the rebound. Here's Terry Mister down to Peabody.
Was that a play on words? Hank gathers the rebound.
Credit ties a career high. 30 points for Mario Credit.
Boy, and give Bowers credit, because instead of playing out of control, which you're really tempted to do in a game like this at times, he settled down. We have a technical foul, maybe, do we?
Yes, we do.
On an Arkansas player.
Nolan Richardson wants an explanation there.
I have to tell you, I didn't get the player that he called it on, and I don't understand why, because Arkansas had just scored.
At any rate,
one shot technical if it's on the player and not on the bench, but they will get the ball out of bounds.
And it's Bo Kimball to knock it in. 17 for Bo.
Now we've got a 2-shot.
Bench technical.
Yeah, it's a bench technical. Yep, 72% shooter. Now, there's they pound. That was the point I was going to make, is that Bowers just pounded it right inside instead of playing out. Oh, that was it. Nice going. Nice replay. That was the first time they got him. Arkansas interfered with the opportunity for LMU to get the ball back. They just caught him with the hand in the cookie jar.
That's right. Keith Wilson. Nice entry and a nice roll to the hoop for Bo Kimball. Kimball has 20. It's 68 for Loyola Marymount, but they're still 14 down. Credit clears it to Keith Wilson. It's Lee Mayberry. Mayberry and Day, 2 excellent freshmen for Nolan Richardson's team. In fact, newcomers have scored 63% of Arkansas's points this year.
Yeah, that plus 33% of their points are coming off the bench.
Howell will go to the line. I'll tell you, Jim, you mesh and mold the new faces like Nolan Richardson has done, and that's why this guy has been the Southwest Conference Coach of the Year.
Plus, he's got some great talent. Their future is in front of them. They've got a young basketball team, and they are awfully tough to beat at Barnhill, I'll tell you, because I did one of their games there, as I said earlier, and they have great fans, and they are really tough at home. That foul was on Terry Mister.
Yeah, that's his first. Here comes Jeff Fryer back for the Lions. Fryer has scored 15. Going out is Tom Peabody. You get a look here at Lindsey Howell.
We were talking about the caliber of basketball in the Southwest Conference. Boy, I'll tell you, with Tom Penders coming over at Texas, and you got Scotty Thompson at Rice, and you've got John Shoemate at SMU, some great young coaches, Iba, the rest of them, and some great young players. They've got a great future in front of them in that conference.
14 minutes, 11 seconds to play in the second. Indianapolis. 14 minutes, 11 seconds remaining. Arkansas maintaining its 15-point lead. They led 68-53 at the half. They've played even basketball through the first 6 minutes of the second half. That's Terry Mister back in the game. John Ferguson is also in for LMU.
Arkansas in the zone, but watch those wing people, and you watch and see how soon they get out on the wings.
Turnaround jumper by Gathers. Bo Kimball. Ferguson picks up the loose ball and knocks it in. John Ferguson with 4. 13-point lead now for the Razorbacks.
They're slowing it down just a little bit, Mick. I was wondering if they were going to do it. They're going to get into their half-court offense and try to burn a little time, probably, which I think will play to their favor.
Howell for the 13-footer.
He's on a roll. Yeah. He is really playing well, and he's got such great confidence in the shot. That wasn't a real easy shot. You're at that in-between spot on the floor, and boy, there was no question when it left.
Boy, Fryer, he throws him up from Terre Haute, doesn't he?
He won't stop either.
Mayberry tried to get it inside, and a traveling call. And we've got a unique situation on the sideline. As you get a look there at Keith Wilson, who I think was about to report in and then doubled over. He was going to come into the game.
Yeah, look at he's limping.
Like a cramp or something, and he was just getting ready to enter. We should mention, and I don't know if this is a factor at all, but the court is raised twice. There's the cement floor, a raised floor, and then the actual playing floor. And it could have been a little twist or something getting off the bench. 85-70, Arkansas by 15. That's Bo Kimball. Fryer knocks it in. Jeff Fryer has 17.
Took a little longer than the 4 seconds they liked to get it up on the glass, but they weren't going to wait much longer. I had heard that they want to shoot every 7 seconds. Yesterday they talked about every 4.
Well, the time zone switch, I think it was. 12:22 remaining here in Indianapolis. Arkansas leading by 13. The Hogs led by 15 at the break. Bo Kimball has been whistled for his 3rd foul. And it's over the limit now, which means 1 in the bonus for Mario Credit, who is having a career afternoon in scoring. He right now has a career high of 30 as he shoots 1 in the bonus. John Ferguson the rebound. And there is the big guy, Oliver Miller, committing a foul.
Arkansas foul at 25. Oliver Miller, his first foul, team foul number 1.
Arkansas making its 16th NCAA tournament appearance, and the Hogs' 11th in the last 13 years. Marymount's 4th appearance in the Big Show, back-to-back appearances. There's Peabody. Ferguson a rebound. That's 2 offensive boards for the big guy, the 6'10" senior from San Jose.
Big plus the way he's been playing off the bench.
Lindsey Howell knocks it down. That's 27 for Howell. Fryer. Woo! 20 for Fryer.
You thought he was going to stop shooting, didn't you?
It's a 10-point game now. 87-77. That was a 3 for Fryer. On the inline.
See, that's what I mentioned earlier. Once they pump that ball inside, Loyola's people, Loyola Marymount's people are going to go in and they're going to double and triple team you. Your first option is, if you're going to make your move, to make it and shoot the basketball. If not, you've got to pump it outside, because the people outside are going to be wide open, and then you can do whatever you have to after that. There's no way you can operate against 2 or 3 people. I don't care how good you are, and that's what the big O, that's what Miller found out that time.
So the Lions can get within single digits now. Gathers going against Credit, and he couldn't get it to go. Credit, though, has been whistled for the foul.
See, Hank loves the left side of the lane because he shoots better when he's moving to his left. He's moving to his left, obviously, because he's going right-handed. Just got bumped off balance a little bit and couldn't get it up there far enough to have a chance for a three-point play.
Gathers having a tough afternoon at the foul line. 21 in the game, though. 6'7", 210 junior from Philadelphia. He and teammate Bo Kimball started out at USC and then transferred. And here's Bowers on a breakout in slow motion, as it were, and then couldn't get it to go.
Boy, what great hustle by LMU. What great hustle back.
Look at this pass from Peabody to Fryer. I tell you, Paul Rifted said it yesterday. He says, hey, he says, the circus is in town, and we're the Flying Wallendas. And they are.
Yep. Now, they figured Bowers was going to get that lay-in back there, so instead of loafing, they had about 3 people coming back to get that rebound.
Mick Hubert along with Jim Gibbons. 11:04 to go, second half. The Lions, as close as they have been in the second half, they're down only 10 here. They've trailed in the first half by as many as 18. They're not shooting well, but they're still launching the missiles. Pair steamer with a miss. Rebound Wilson. The outlet to Mayberry. Here come the Hogs back. Bowers comes back to Wilson. Bowers, 14-footer. Rebound Ferguson.
You'll notice Arkansas is taking more time in their half-court offense the last 20 minutes than they did in the first 20.
And there's a walk against Tom Peabody. The crowd doesn't like it here. But,
well, the crowd is kind of picked up, and they're cheering really for Loyola Marymount.
And look at this.
Wow.
East Tennessee State.
I'll tell you, look at that.
Early with a 15-point lead against the Oklahoma Sooners.
I don't care how early it is. When you can hold Oklahoma to 16 points, that's not bad.
I think there might be some three-point shots in
wow.
that game. That's a nice drive by Mayberry, but he left it short, and then a whistle and a foul.
See, the really difficult thing for LMU is at the end of a game, if Hank is in there, and my God, he's your leading scorer and leading rebounder, but also a 50.
CIA wants your opinion about the three-point line. Would you like to see the three-point line remain the same at 19 feet 9? Call 900-260-6301, or move back to the international distance, 21 feet. 900-260-6302, or move to the pro distance, 23 feet 4 inches. 900-260-6303. You'll be charged 60 cents per phone call. Loyola Marymount on the offensive, and Hank gathers. He's been called for the travel. No, check that.
You got the foul.
He got a foul.
See, the one thing that Loyola does, Loyola Marymount, when they shoot that ball, they're not worried about you getting that transition and hurting them on a fast break. They usually run about 3 or 4 people to that offensive glass, and that's what they did that time. Fryer missed a three-pointer. Lowry picked it up, got it in the hands of Gathers. He drew the forced the contact and drew the foul again, and has got himself on the line. But this is what I was talking about before, because he just simply has to start cashing in on some of those free throws.
Gathers is only a 57% foul shooter.
See, they're only shooting 39% still, and Arkansas is at 56%.
Gathers with 23. His average is 33. 8-point game now. Miller, good entry to Credit. Nice defense there, but it will still be Arkansas basketball.
Very, very good defense. There was great rotation, and I didn't think the pass should have been made because there wasn't enough spacing to make the pass, and Loyola Marymount almost picked it off.
Lindsey Howell running one-hander. Wilson got the rebound, and Big John Ferguson has been whistled for the foul against Loyola Marymount.
There's a perfect example for youngsters if you want to find out why people can rebound and some can't. As soon as they drove to the basket, Wilson was, you won't even see Wilson in this picture. Watch, you're not going to see him until right now. He was all the way out on the wing and had the presence of mind as soon as he gave that man the time to go up that lane to get himself in a position to get a rebound. That's exactly what he did.
And hey, Jim, I'll tell you, Arkansas leaving them open here.
You bet.
Loyola Marymount has hung tough, and they're down by only 8. Peabody to Ferguson, baseline jumper. Gathers a rebound, and it's back to a 6-point game. And listen to the Lion fans come to life here. 87-81. Credit a rebound. Credit missing a couple. Bo Kimball the rebound. Loyola Marymount down by 18 in the first half. Now down 6 with the basketball.
Arkansas is not in any sync in its half-court offense. They've lost their continuity.
Gathers wheeling and dealing, and a blocking foul on Arkansas. Mario Credit. I believe that'll be 4 on Credit.
Gathers almost played out of control. He wanted to play one-on-one, and he should have stopped to take that little baby jumper right there. Almost, and that's a good call. That's a good call because Credit moved too late and then stuck out his right knee and impeded the progress of Gathers.
Peabody gets it in. Nicely done to Per Steamer, but an equally fine defensive play for Arkansas. And they've got a breakout. Mayberry on the jam. When it looked like the Lions could score, the Hawks defense turns it around. That's a 4-point swing. 89-81. Bo Kimball. 2 points, Bo Kimball. Wilson against a double team. Wilson for 3. Loose ball picked up by Mayberry. Credit on the low block. Can't find a hoop here. He's gone cold. They can cut it to 4. Eight minutes remaining. 8 minutes left.
The fans are yelling, shoot. This is the longest they have held on to the basketball the whole game.
Gathers out front. Per Steamer. Nice cut in. Kimball couldn't get it to go.
That is about the 3rd or 4th time that Ferguson has been wide open underneath with a wide open shot, and he has just been in so much of a hurry, Mick, that he just puts too much on it. Watch. I mean, he made a great move to the basket. Watch the film. Now, right down there, look at, there's no one even near him. Look at, he's wide open, and he just couldn't put it down.
It's the 4th personal foul of the game against Bo Kimball. Jeff Fryer also has 4, as does teammate Terrell Lowry. And this is Mario Credit. A new career high now of 31 established here for Credit. He averages 10.8.
And I'm here to tell you there's still an eternity left in this game. 7 minutes and 42 seconds. Don't go away.
We talked at the open in terms of a track meet, a 100-yard dash, a sprint. But in reality, it's more of a marathon.
You bet.
Because they play every second of the clock.
And now you've got to turn it up another notch. This is what I said to you. The last 7 or 8 minutes, you've got to turn it up that other notch.
Here's Fryer. Big O. Oliver Miller the rebound. Baseballs it to the center to Wilson. Wilson kicks it out. Nicely done. Todd Day. He scored 7. 10-point lead for Arkansas. That's Gathers. It's going to be off.
Yep, no.
Off Wilson.
Good hands by Wilson. But I think we got to get Gathers inside there around that basket a little more. Exactly.
He's not usually out there around the arc.
Get him out there where he can start getting some of those rebounds and those stickbacks. Draw some more fouls.
As evidence that Gathers is not at home at the arc, he has not attempted a three-point shot all year.
Absolutely not.
Rebound Gathers. It's a war inside. The foul is going to go against Miller.
Yeah, I'll tell you, You really have to admire a team that plays with as much heart and with as much intensity and as much desire every time this ball. Now watch, every time the ball is on the floor, look at Steamer. Now you've got to call that because Miller just came right over his back. But boy, they've missed some real good shots inside.
That's only the 6th team foul against Arkansas, so the next one will put the Lions on the line. Arkansas has been on the line for quite some time. And there is plenty of time remaining, 6:53 to be exact, and Arkansas is leading 93-83. Steamer in the lane, but a whistle and a holding foul there against Arkansas. That now we're in bonus.
Look at the foul trouble. Wow.
Credit's having the big day with 32, 4 fouls. The only guy in the difficulty. But the Lions, not deep to begin with, and they're, as Paul Westhead says, we're on the verge all the time.
That's the
on
point.
The brink.
That's the point we made earlier. They certainly weren't going to be able to go as deep. And the other thing that has hurt them the whole game is that they just haven't cashed in at the free throw line.
And Steamer was an 81% free thrower that left the door open by missing the front end there. Keith Wilson. Miller touched it. It'll be out of bounds to the Lions.
I've watched enough of Jeff Fryer to know that he is too good a shooter to be having the day that he's having. I'd be curious to see if the dome has affected him.
.6:29 remaining. 93-83, Arkansas by 10. Loyola Marymount's Jeff Fryer kicks it out to Per Steamer. The Swedish import losing the handle. Here's Keith Wilson, 3-on-2 break. Wilson, oh, they filled the lane nicely, and Mayberry off the left wing, sprinted to the glass. A 12-point lead for Arkansas. 16 for Mayberry.
Yep, and a good timeout by Westhead.
Westhead, those 7 left, and watch the Arkansas transition.
See, Steamer got intimidated by Miller inside. Now, there's a reverse roll. There's Wilson leading the break. There's Mayberry, who's the superb point guard out on the wing. He got it into his hands. Boy, he kept his head up and watched it right in.
Fryer can't hit it. The out of bounds to Arkansas. Lindsey Howell to play it in, and he threw it away. He intended to hit Mayberry, and Gathers picked it up, and Gathers put it in. 27 for Gathers. 10-point lead for the Hogs. Lee Mayberry, newcomer of the year of the Southwest Conference. Left side, Wilson, Oliver Miller. And they've called a travel on Keith Wilson. Nolan Richardson says, huh?
They wanted to get into its half-court offense, and the one thing is they were playing dead behind Steamer was dead behind Miller. And I don't think you can give a guy the ball and position both in that part of the floor because the offensive player is going to beat you 9 out of 10 times.
Fryer knocks it in, and it'll count. The foul is on Keith Wilson, and Fryer makes what seemed to be an impossible shot.
May go on the highlight film. I know they've had a lot of incredible shots and incredible plays probably over the course of the season, but watch. This is again what I say, forcing the contact and finishing it. He knew he was going to get hit. He figures, what have I got to lose? I'm going to throw it up there. And in it went, and he's on the line for a chance at a three-pointer.
That's the 4th foul on Keith Wilson of Arkansas. So Fryer.
Hold on now. Paul Westhead was asking Larry Limbo about something.
I think he's questioning whether that should have been a 3. And his foot, it was behind the arc.
It was?
He stepped over the arc, but his pivot foot was outside the arc. And I think Westhead says that should be a 4-point.
Good for you, Mick. That's what we got. He's going to change it. He's going to give him a 3. You're right. Nice call. All right, let's take a look now. There he is. He's going to get fouled.
No question.
You can leave your feet and come inside. That is absolutely great replay, Lou. Nice camera work because everybody knows now that it was a good call. Nice going.
So there are 5 minutes and 10 seconds left, and it's back to a 6-point lead, 95-89 on Jeff Fryer's 4-point play.
See, I just don't think Steamer can let Miller back him in that close under the basket.
Day in the lane. Oh, he got inside the defense that time.
Pretty good move by the freshman, and they needed a basket at that point.
We had the drive time now, less than 5 minutes. 97-89. Fryer's got the crowd on the edge of their seat. They ooh and ah with every shot.
They're all in his corner. Every time he gets ready, they're pulling for him. I think that's a charge.
Yep, it is. Gathers the foul.
And he's injured at the same time. I think he might have gotten a knee in the thigh. I don't think there was any question about the call. Watch. Right there, lowered his shoulder, put the man right to the floor, but I think he got injured himself in the process.
Let's just review Gathers a moment. He averages 33, and he has 27. 97-89.
Remember, the young man's only a junior.
Todd Day. He's got 11.
Very good teamwork right there.
Back to a 10-point game for Arkansas.
See how they're doubling up on Fryer now that he's getting that pass out on the wing?
Gathers. Here comes the Razorbacks. They've got the numbers, and Mayberry makes a terrific move. 18 for Mayberry, and all of a sudden it's back to a 12-point game. 101-89. His kick will be out of bounds to Arkansas.
Tell you one thing, what I've seen the last couple of possessions, Arkansas certainly isn't going to fold. Well, when I mean fold, I'm just talking about getting tired.
They've answered every challenge, haven't they?
They have answered every one. There's another great block right there by Miller, I believe.
And a nice...
There's Mayberry. Look at, boy, see the good fake right to the middle man to Miller? Then
Wilson has the hoop, and he is going to go to the line. A chance for a three-point play to extend the Arkansas lead.
Boy, that was executed beautifully. Right from the pass. Watch, they're overplaying everybody, trying to stop him from getting it in. They just went, Wilson broke, and boy, what a great pass. Threw it right toward the basket rather than toward the player. Let him enough. Wilson went right up, and he went strong and got himself in a chance for a three-point play. That was very, very good execution.
A touchdown pass, as it were. And it was also the fifth and final foul for Jeff Fryer, who leaves the game with 3:59 and a 23-point game for the junior from Newport Beach, California, Jeff Fryer. He gave it his all here today.
Not like the last one he's going to play for LMU, because he's only a junior, as you said, and he'll be back next year to do 20 more damage.
Three-point goal for Wilson there, and it's a 15-point Arkansas lead. Lions keep firing them up. Razorbacks are in control.
Well, the amazing thing to me right now, Mick, is that Arkansas seems to be stronger than Loyola. They really do. They have really answered the challenge and played at a superb pace for 40 minutes.
They have scored the last 11 points in the game. Until that broke the streak there. Kimball now has 24, but an 11-0 run. Just as the Lions made a charge, the Razorbacks regained command.
Okay, you really have to be superbly conditioned to play at this pace for 40 minutes.
There's Day. Ooh, he wanted another. Todd Day will go to the line. 6'6" string bean out of Memphis, Tennessee. High school All-American there.
He was the player of the year in Tennessee, who is jet quick, and I want to tell you, he has very fine offensive tools, and he's going to be more of an outside player, but he's got that quick release, and he can be creative. And I'll tell you, they've got Mayberry, they've got that young man, they've got Miller. That's why I'm saying to you, their future is in front of them. Lindsey Howell is only a junior.
They hope for a successful return for Ron Urey.
You bet. And when he returns, that's just going to be an added plus.
14 for Todd Day. It's a 16-point lead for Arkansas.
You've only got one senior on the whole team.
And that's Wilson, the glue to the team.
You bet. That's on Howell, I believe. Yeah, almost got away with it. Larry Lembo caught him just as he reached in and grabbed hold just as they started to go into the act of shooting.
And it's good night for Lindsey Howell. And what a performance today for the 6'4", 200-pound junior. He leaves with 27 points, and that's 13 above his season average. It appears, barring a real comeback in the final 3 minutes for the Lions, who are certainly capable of such a comeback, but it would appear that Nolan Richards is going to get his first ever NCAA tournament victory.
It looks that way right now, but I'll tell you, with the three-point play and 3:02 left on the clock.
And I'm not counting them out. But Fryer, their best marksman, has fouled out. Kimball has 26. It's 107-93. 3 minutes left. Wilson doesn't take the shot. Clock is the ally of the Arkansas team.
This is what makes it tough on LMU right now. If you spread them out on the floor, Arkansas has more quickness. And they're not in any hurry. Very good discipline.
Gathers picks up the foul. Gathers is perhaps the only Lion that has not been in foul trouble.
No.
Siena has defeated Stanford 80-78. Apparently the appearance of spectators didn't bother Siena.
Yeah, they say that there's no such thing as upsets when you get to the NCAA, but I have to tell you right there, that's one of them.
This is Oliver Miller, 6'9", 260, a freshman from Fort Worth, Texas. Arkansas will keep it alive. They're going to run a little clock here now. Hank Gathers has just whistled for his 4th personal foul. He's got to watch it now because with 2:22 left, they really can ill afford to lose this guy if they have any hope of mounting a successful comeback. Arkansas's lead is 14 at 107-93. A crowd here in the Hoosier Dome of 37,232. Watching the nation's highest scoring team. Being beaten at this moment, 107-93, and Arkansas trying to run a little clock here. And there's a great feed from Miller, and Day gets the dunk. 16 for Day, and a 16-point Razorback lead. There's a 3 for Terrell Lowry. Credit will play it in. Going to give it back to the line to Arkansas, and down to our left you get a look.
Peabody,
who has just given everything and more that he has to give in this game.
Boy, again, only 1:59 left on the clock. I saw him coming up for that overplay, and that was a great move on his part. He was thinking of leaping right over there, and then he tripped coming off. Then he tripped coming off the floor right here, the point you were making before, Mick, because of the elevation right here, and he was in between and really didn't know whether to try to step up onto the table or whether he was going to try to stop, and he couldn't do it.
His knee kind of buckled on him.
Exactly.
He was in between.
Yep, yeah.
And you made the comment about trying to leap. Well, from the edge of the court to our table is probably about, that's about 5, 6 inches.
Sure, look.
And then from the court to our broadcast position is about 8 feet.
Yeah.
That would take a pretty good long jumper to leap that without a full head of steam.
You bet.
But Tom Peabody, who transferred to Loyola Marymount from Rice, he did not play basketball for the Owls and then had to sit out a year. He went 2 years without playing organized basketball. He has had to really pick up the load in the loss of Enoch Simmons, the point guard for Loyola Marymount. And he's just given it all he had to give.
He transferred from Rice and was a redshirt, so it's his first year of basketball.
Less than 2 minutes in the game. 109-96. And a whistle and a foul on Loyola Marymount.
Well, there's the young man you want to have in the game at 6 feet, and I'm not quite sure. I asked him about that the last time I was at Fayetteville. I'm not sure he's 6 feet tall, but he can really motor and is jet quick and can handle that full court pressure. And you have him in the game, and you've got Mayberry in the game. You're going to do pretty well against teams that put the pressure on you.
That is the 5th personal foul against Terrell Lowry. He leaves with a 7-point game. And going to the free throw line is Arlen Bowers. As they're looking over that knee, Terry Mister back for Loyola Marymount.
Arlen Bowers.
So you look here, Mick, at the keys. I asked Paul Westhead. He said, one, we've got to create early offense and get the passes to Fryer and Kimball. I don't think they were able to do it. Second, get offensive rebounds, some second and third kickbacks. Not a lot of them. Third, defensive transition.
Credit knocked out of bounds. It'll be Loyola Marymount basketball.
Now, at the other end, anytime you ask Nolan Richardson about keys, the first one he's going to say to you is, Jim, we've got to play hard because nothing else matters if we don't play hard, and that's what they did. His second was defensive transition, and I think they've done a pretty good job on it. And then he said, third, we have to shoot well, and they did shoot well early.
Mister threads the needle on the defense, drives down the lane, and gets the foul against Arkansas. That'll be the foul on Arlen Bowers. Arkansas is 24-6, the champs of the Southwest Conference, 13-3 in the league. And Paul Westhead's team won the West Coast Athletic Conference tournament championship because they were 10-4 regular season and finished in a tie for second. The Lions came in here with a record of 20-10.
You know, yesterday at the press conference, they asked Paul about Arkansas. He said Arkansas is a hidden gem. And boy, they are. He said that they've got great speed, they shoot well, on the move they shoot well, and they are deep. And he was right in every aspect because this is a fine basketball team.
111-98, and here's a breakout for Credit, and he lays it in. Credit now has 34, over a new career high. Gathers wheeling and dealing, and missing, and Ferguson missing, and Gathers hammered by Todd Day. Dave picking up the foul, and watch the control here underneath the line.
Now, watch the reaction when Gathers misses. Did you see him react? Boy, that's what I tell you about rebounding. What a great reaction to the shot. And then Ferguson missed another one from in close, and Gathers stayed right close enough that the ball wound up back in his hands again.
On that pump fake by Gathers, do you think he knew he was going to get hit?
Well, he waited long enough that he drew a crowd. I'll tell you that. If you're going to rebound, you might as well get it up there in a hurry. If you're not, you know you're going to get creamed, and sooner or later he did. The first thing in rebounding, Mick, is you've got to have courage. You just have to want to rebound, and you've got to be willing to mix it up. And that young man is willing to throw his body around and stay in a position where he can get enough rebounds.
Gathers with 27 in the game. 23 times he's been over 30 this year. Now he has 28. Clock is down to 1 minute and 15 seconds. And a 14-point lead for Arkansas. Mister committing the foul. Yesterday in the news conference, Bo Kimball said we could have a 300-point game. Well, they're going to fall short of that, but we have in excess of 200 points here. In fact, 212 right now.
Well, I think in Loyola Marymount's win last year in the first round of the NCAA, the combination of the two teams against Wyoming, I think 119 to 115, they set a record for most points scored.
Arkansas basketball. Keith Wilson, the captain of the Hogs, was going to play it in, but instead he'll be replaced there on the end line. Oliver Miller to trigger. We approach the 1-minute mark in the game. Arkansas has been in command from the outset. They led by as many as 18, although Loyola Marymount would not give up. They closed within 6 in the second half at 95-89 with 5 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the game. But then Arkansas went on an 11-0 run. And it was the end for Loyola Marymount. Ferguson has fouled out of the game. And that's the third Lion to leave. Here comes John O'Connell in.
You know, the thing that I admire the most about the way they're playing is they're out of this game right now, and they know it, and so does Paul Westhead, but they are working as hard right now in the last 55 seconds as they've worked the last 39 minutes. And boy, I take my hat off to teams that play that way and play with that much intensity for 40 minutes. You know, when you're a team like they are and you're way up on clubs, you know, and things are going in, and boy, you're having a ball, but when you fall behind and it's not going your way, that's when a lot of teams just throw the towel in. But boy, I'll give them credit for not doing that.
Todd Day gets the ball back. He has 18 points. Then here's another foul on Loyola Marymount. So the Lions will close their campaign 20-11. Arkansas will move to 25-6, and they'll advance into Saturday's second round. Day on the line. Day has scored 19, and he came into this game averaging 19 for his last 4. So he has not missed a beat here. He was held to 5 in the first half and 14 in the second. And they'll go back to Westchester section of Los Angeles, knowing they had an excellent season. 117-99. Per Steamer couldn't find the handle there. Picks it off, and Day has fouled him. Foul on Todd Day. 34 seconds remaining here.
Arkansas foul on number 10, Todd Day. His 5th foul.
That'll be number 5 on Day. So Todd Day is fouled out with a 20-point afternoon.
Also into the Arkansas lineup, number 44, Sean Davis.
Here's Sean Davis coming in for Arkansas. Yeah, they all had fun for the Arkansas team. I mean, if you're a player, you have to love to play in a game like this. And that's what both Kimball and Hank Gather said when they were going to leave USC and they were transferring. They looked at the highlight tape and they thought, Paul Westhead's doctored this tape. Nobody plays like that.
That's exactly what he said. We didn't believe the tape, so we went over to watch. Ooh, there's an air ball.
117-99.
I'll tell you, if I were Hank, I'd spend an awful lot of time between now and the start of next year standing at that free throw line and also playing out away from the basket and shooting jumpers and getting my outside game a little more proficient. Nobody has to worry about his inside game and the way he can move, because he's got the strength and the mobility to do it, but he's got to do a few other things to make himself more of a threat for this club next year.
We talked about the scoring in the game and what the factor defense might be. Well, Arkansas has to have a goal right now, Jim.
Yep, that's probably right. They're probably trying to say, hey, listen, we've only got 32 seconds to go. Let's see if we can keep them under 100 points. And that would really be something.
Well, Arkansas has topped the century mark for the 10th time this year. Marymount 21, but they've lost like 6 games when they have scored over 100. Loyola Marymount has. So hitting 100 for the Lions does not necessarily produce a victory. The final seconds ticking off here at Indianapolis. Down court. There's the jam for Darryl Hawkins. 118-99. Per Steamer running it out. There's the tip in for O'Connell. 120 to 101. And that's going to do it. That's it. The end of this game here from the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis before a crowd of over 37,000.